The last few days I've seen the weather really take a turn for the worst. Since October the temperatures dropped really cold and we've got lots of rain coming in. So it's time to get some of those autumn jobs done. I've had a clean out of the cold frame. I put a couple of sheets of polycarb on the bottom for a bit of insulation. These 3 buckets here are the potatoes that I put in for Christmas harvest, hopefully. As you can see, them just starting to sprout through the top now. So I've got the double glazed units out. I'll be popping them on top. There is 2, 4, 6 vents in the walls, various places around there. So I can open these as required. And if extreme cold, I'll block them up with some sponge or something. But they have got shutters on the outside, there and there. And thinking with this cowl frame, the wood is probably 1.5 1.25 thick. Polycarb on the bottom, double glazed on the top. It'll be quite easy to keep this warm with a candle or something inside, and I should say it'll retain the heat quite well. Still got about 12 to 15 buckets of Charlotte potatoes to be harvested here, so I think I'm going to get them out before the rain comes and then dry them off, and I'll just stack the pots down the bottom. Also give me a chance to get this bed weeded. There's the harvest from the first bucket, and surprisingly, for being so long in the bucket, they're really good condition. Just as a measure of scale, behind it is a 3-inch pot. I'm not actually what the weight is. I'm not even going to weigh them because I've got lots of other buckets to turn out, but that gives you an idea. Hopefully the rest of the buckets will return as good as that. There are about 6 cabbages now, nearing maturity really, so I think I'm going to start cropping those. I'll be taking one, maybe a few carrots as well. This is quite a nice specimen. Problem is there's another 4 or 5 similar size. Be ready for harvesting soon. I don't really like freezing cabbage, so let me know in the comments what you do with yours. To go with that lovely cabbage I've just harvested, I'm going to pull a few sweet candle carrots. The sunflowers have performed extremely well this year, but now it's time for them to come out. I'll be cutting the stems down and they'll be going in the council bin. The tops I'll be saving for the birds to enjoy. One thing it's worth remembering, when you put the sunflowers out for the first time, use a low stake and allow the top to flex. What this does, it puts more roots out and makes the plant stronger over the year. That's the first pass of tidying the potato bed up. I've taken all the haulms off these 12 pots of sarpows, and there's a bed of sarpows here. Now just the sunflowers have gone and all. I've fetched those up there, and I've just chopped the stalks up, some decent sized. They'll end up into the council bin, and a bit more foliage there. So that's cleared up. I'll be doing a bit more on that to tidy it up a bit neater later on. In the meantime, I've still got 6 buckets of shallots to finish harvesting. I've dried and brushed the dirt off most of the shallots now. That's a 25 kilogram bag. It's quite near the top. Done really well. Bit of scab on some of them, but nothing to worry about. They'll soon scrape off. And so that's a decent crop of potatoes throughout the bucket. That is not too bad. The bed in front was where the containers with the Charlotte potatoes were in. Looks a bit of a mess at the moment, but those tufts of grass will come up easily, because fortunately most of that is rotted horse manure that I put between them when I planted them out earlier in the year. Well, that didn't take long to get those out. I'll just give it a light rake over just to level it off, and I'll be putting the black plastic on. That's ready to go for next year now. No more manure or nothing, because this will probably contain the parsnips, Swedes and anything else I've got to pop in there. Although it's annoying, you sometimes have to smile. The local allotment fox has been on the potato bed digging, and you can see he's fetched quite a few of the sarpows up. What I have to do, I think, is remove these potatoes. I might put a plastic sheet over the top just to keep him off. We're well into autumn now, so still got some sweet corn on, so just give these a pick, then that'll give me a chance to clear the bed up. So we're getting late into the season now, so these are the dregs off the plant. See, from about 4 I've already done. The corn hasn't gone to the end. That's quite usual. This variety is called Incredible, and it's a good reliable crop. Here are a few jobs that you may wish to consider on and around the plot for the month of October. If we're quick, we can still enjoy the last few pickings of runner beans before the frost comes, but if you leave it much longer they'll start to go stringy. Of course, you can always leave them on the plant and let them swell a bit more and save them for seed for next year. Spring cabbage seedlings that have grown on can now be planted out. Make sure that the ground is firm, and also give the planting hole a dusting with some lime. Plant the plant firmly and push the soil round so that there's no air left in there, and finally give them a good watering in. Dependent on the variety, now is a good time to lift any main crop potatoes. This will reduce any risk of frost to the haulms that may be there, and also slug damage with them remaining in the damp soil. Cut down old asparagus stems once they start to turn brown and burn them. Adult asparagus beetles can overwinter in the hollow stems. Also, once the bed is clear, think about giving a top dressing of rotted manure, and that will then feed the crowns ready for next season. Elephant garlic and garlic can also be planted out now. I like to trim the tops before planting the clove into the soil, and this is usually twice the depth of the clove. Conventional garlic is treated exactly the same way, but can be planted much closer at a distance of 4 to 6 inches. Overwinter onions, or Japanese onions as they're sometimes known, are bred to mature slightly earlier than spring planted ones. Radar, Electric Red and Shakespeare are three good varieties to consider. The first thing I like to do is to check each set to make sure that it is firm and not squidgy, and also throw out any that are extremely large or small. Planting goes down to a depth where the tip is just touching the soil level, and it's a good idea to also cover this with a net as soon as possible, because the birds sometimes pull these out thinking they are worms. With the onset of cold, dark, long winter nights approaching, now is a good time to gather a few seed catalogues around you, browse through them and start planning your season for next year. Also, get your seed orders placed early, as a lot of popular items sometimes sell out. The end of September was the closing date for the Sunflower Challenge 2019. It was hosted as usual by Nick's Allotment Diary. I was fortunate to win another category again. I think in 2017 I won it, and this year, same category, it was a sunflower with the largest diamond head, and I think it came out at 21 inch, and I just about beat Southpaw Dave, who was quite close behind. A few days ago the postman arrived with the awards, and here we got them. First of all, we got this nice mug with the Sunflower Challenge on it. There's a pen. And last but not least, we got 4 packets of sunflower seeds. Different varieties. We got Alchemy, Red Sun, Solar Eclipse and American Giant. So these will be going into my seed box, ready for next year for planting. Thank you to everybody who entered the contest, and a big thank you also again to Nick for hosting it. If you've still got beetroot in the ground, now's the time to consider lifting it, otherwise it could go woody. You can actually store these in a clamp similar to parsnips and carrots with either soil or something, but these will probably end up being cooked and maybe pickled as well. And this is the harvest of the beetroot. Must admit there's more there than I thought there was. Pretty good condition as well, so we're getting those in the pot, I think. One thing to do with the beetroot, if you're not going to use it straight away, is be careful with the stems, because if you damage them you can cause it to bleed. It's not such good news though with the leeks. The allium leaf miners got in and wrecked a lot. My own fault, I didn't put no enviromesh covering on, and that's the result. All the other growers on site that have grown them open have got the same thing. I won't bother trying to recover them. I'm just going to rip them out. I'll weed the other 2 beds there, and then cover the lot ready for next season. Well, I reckon there's about another hour's weeding in there, then the beds will be done. So next time we come back, all that should be clear, covered, ready for next year. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye for now.